Hi everyone, and welcome to your weekly readings for the 10th to the 16th of March. I'll just give people a chance to arrive. If you're here and watching, please let me know. Hi Super Angry Koala, it's wonderful to see you. Just give me a second. There we go. Okay, it's wonderful to see you, Super Angry Koala, and everyone else who's arriving. Yeah, I timed this well for you, I think. Our time zones matched up for once. Hi, Trisha. Hi to everyone else just turning up. I'm going to be pulling cards for the collective and then for the 12 signs for the 10th to the 16th of March. Give us a chance to see what we're dealing with over the next week. I hope you're all dealing okay with the energies. They're very up and down very quickly at the moment. I hope we're all managing to not get too drawn into things either. We need to stay as witnesses to our own process as much as possible at the moment. Sometimes easier said than done, but the more you can ground and come back to yourself, the easier it's going to be. Hi, Teresa. So I'm going to start off by pulling a few cards for the collective, and then I'll move on to the 12 signs. Cards for the collective for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. If you're here, please like the video, that helps. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Trisha. So let's get a sense of where the collective's at. Super Angry Koala says, I've been exhausted. I think we can all be in very different places right now. I don't think anything is consistent or predictable. But I feel the point is just not to attach as much as possible. Okay. So here's where the collective is at then. Very interesting. So if you're doing well, you're doing well, because I feel not everyone is. So it's very complicated. First card coming up for the collective is the Fool. So I don't feel that anyone who's having a hard time is like doing it to themselves or deliberately or anything. I feel that we're really trying to be open and we're trying to just step into something new, and then we kind of get caught up and pulled back, and we try and step forward and then we get caught up and pulled back. And this seems to be like the process that we're in, and that is, it's a little complicated to say the least, but the sense that I get is that especially in the mental space, we're getting very caught up. The moment something goes up here and starts to build up inside of here, it's getting very difficult. In the heart space, it feels a lot freer. But even then, I feel that we have a specific focus then. And when that isn't quite shifting or moving, then we go back to the mental space, and then there are difficulties. So we want to be a lot freer with the Fool, and we're all focused on that. But underpinning it, like, I mean, somebody, Super Angry Koala has said, I've been exhausted. Underpinning this for all of us is the Four of Swords. So we're all kind of mentally exhausted, I feel, and that's why the mental space is so difficult at the moment, because there's just not a lot of space there. And that's kind of where you get caught out by Mercury at this time, is up there, not down here or even deeper. So with where we're at as a result, you know, that exhaustion is real. We need time out, time to rest. We can't just push ourselves. It's important to stay open to new things at this time, and the openness is important. I don't feel we can force it, but the openness is important. And when stuff comes in, we can connect to it and work with it. Things are quite fluid. We moved away from a space of the Emperor, so we've moved away from this space of being able to control things as well. And I feel that because we're not able to control things or direct them or think them through, that's where it's all getting difficult and painful. And I feel like old thought patterns, old things that have affected us, that have hurt us in the past, are coming up at this time, and they're coming up to be released, but there's a danger in attaching to them or perceiving them as current or as unchangeable, unshifting. So in the present position for the collective is the 10 of Swords. So we are getting a little caught up, some of us, trapped, because this stuff hasn't quite gone yet, or at least our mental relationship hasn't quite gone yet. So even we've moved forward in so many ways, it's like the conscious mind is so slow to react and to respond and to move forward that we're getting caught back up in some old hurts and ways of thinking and ways of doing things, and that's causing difficulties. It's causing difficulties, and I don't feel that at this time trying to think them through or confront them is helpful, because I don't feel they're even necessarily current. They can be like a remnant, but still very, very real, very, very painful for those going through that. Now, we are open with the Fool. I feel we're right to be open, because it is going to get easier. It's going to get easier, but we can't control it. Where we head towards collectively, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So there's a lot of surrender required, a lot of disregarding, if possible, old belief systems, old expectations. It's always gone this way, so it always will. Things always turn out this way, so they always will. Those seem like the dangers and the traps, because the universe really wants us to surrender at this time, because we don't know what's coming in next. We don't know where things are going to lead at the moment, and we have to be able to accept that. And for a lot of people, that's really difficult. It's really difficult because we're so used to needing to control things on that conscious level, but we can't be doing that. So having that space of the Fool in mind is a good thing, but allowing ourselves time to rest as well, and not to get too caught up in our thoughts, because the more we're caught up there, I feel the more we're going to get trapped, the more we're going to reach for what's old and familiar, and that doesn't really suit us. And there is something new coming in, and it's not in your control. You can't direct it. With the Wheel of Fortune coming in, you have to be ready to surrender and let it happen. And that's us collectively. I'm going to look in a moment about how that affects the signs individually. But that's kind of the picture. The exhaustion is mental, and that plays out then physically. But I feel in a feeling space, it's not as bad as that. But what we do with our thoughts is we then presume an emotion attached to that. And then we don't allow ourselves to feel where we're at. And that causes a lot of difficulties. So a lot of rest is required. I hope you've had that over the weekend, but really don't be pushing yourselves too hard this week, placing too many demands on yourselves too much this week, but also don't be placing demands or expectations on events, on the universe at the moment, because the universe has other ideas. I hope that makes sense for the collective. I'm going to move on now to the 12 signs. So we're going to start with Aries. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March, 2019. Hi, Michelle. I'm hoping that obviously some of you are exhausted. I'm hoping it's overall been a good weekend for you. Hi, Vicky. So Aries, first of all, always up first. Okay, Aries, let me see the picture for you. Okay. Okay. It's interesting for you, Aries. You're getting tied up. I mean, I'm literally seeing like these like ropes or vines tangling themselves around you, and you keep working to free yourself. And then they tangle up around you again. So there is this restriction being placed on you repeatedly. And it's like the more you struggle, the more they come back and tighten up. Difficult situation for you to be facing. And it's rooted in a hurt. It's rooted in a belief that's in your mind there. So the 5 of Cups is coming up in your conscious mind. With the 5 of Cups showing up here, I feel that this is frustrating you and it's making you upset because you like being free and you can't be free and you can't just do what you want to or what you choose to or what you'd expect to. And you're trying so hard to get past that, like your Knight of Wands in the subconscious is trying to push you forward, because you have this drive, this subconscious drive that says, no, I need to set the agenda. I need to be able to force the issue. I need to be able to make my own way, shape my own path. And yet, at this moment in time, you can't. You're having to be really resilient. With the 9 of Wands showing up, you're having to be very, very resilient, and you're having to go a bit slower. Focus on the here and now, the immediate tasks in hand. And that's frustrating, but you kind of have to give in almost to the frustration and accept that this can't be a time of rapid movement for you, and nor can it be a time of setting the agenda. So the challenge for you is the 4 of Pentacles. And with the 4 of Pentacles, you're effectively being asked to stop where you are. Stop where you are and allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to almost just feel into the ground there, into your situation, and accept it for what it is. And show yourself the love necessary that means that you can deal with that. Because at the moment, I feel that fighting and battling to get forward means that you don't like where you're at. And maybe that is a self-love issue there as well. Maybe there's been some upset with where you're at and you want to be able to move out from that. But right now, you can't. Now, what's interesting is that this isn't the imposition that you feel it is. You see, you're like, I want to do this. I know I need to do this. Why can't I go and do this? But the answer is actually that's not right for you. And by staying where you are, by being in this moment, you're then going to get fresh ideas and a fresh impetus about where you go. And it's going to be somewhere a bit different, a bit of a change of direction. But it's also going to allow you to really go at that wholeheartedly. So it's almost like you strip away the idea of where things could have gone to, what you might have planned for a while, how you thought things would go, because that's not coming with the 5 of Cups. And you can't just force the issue or go ahead anyway. But as you come back into yourself, into the moment, feel yourself, allow yourself to be, then there is going to be an opportunity to do something new. And it's not going to be as fast as you might be driven to make it with the Knight of Wands, but you're going to start to plant the seeds and you're going to start to find your own way. And it's going to be better for you. It's going to allow you to go much, much further as well. So what you're going to shift to is something with far, far more potential. And potential is important here. Now, I've said the Wheel of Fortune is coming in, and it is. And the Wheel of Fortune is going to get your ideas flowing, your creative juices flowing. It's going to get you moving into a new direction and into alignment. And what you get then is the 2 of Wands. So you are talking about something more in alignment, something that you feel more connected to, something that you can put more of yourself into, rather than just being like, I'm going to force the issue, I'm going to burn all my energy into this, whether or not it's truly who I am and what I need to do at this stage because it's what I wanted to do. Now you're going to be set on a different path by holding back for a bit, by staying in this place, by accepting the restriction. You're then going to be breaking out of it with the Two of Wands and moving off in a brand new direction. And that can be hugely exciting. It means you have to work with the frustration. It means you have to feel that and allow yourself to be. Get the rest that everyone needs as well, because that's another part of it. But through this Four of Pentacles, which is a transitory phase, this isn't forever, through accepting the Nine of Wands, which means you have to be resilient but not push too hard. It's more of a defensive stance, more of a protective stance, protecting yourself especially, then you're going to be able to move off and do something new. And someone's asking, could this be a relationship situation? It absolutely could be. Like the Two of Wands for me can be the start of a relationship, but doesn't have to be. But what matters is it's driven by feeling. It's driven by feeling and an ability then to express that feeling. And that is coming up as a new impetus. It's not just what you've gone after or done before. I hope that makes sense to you, Aries. Next up is going to be Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Taurus. Taurus. I don't feel this is comfortable for any sign at the moment. We'll see how it plays out, but it is, I completely believe this is for our own benefit. You know, we sometimes have to go through phases like this. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Taurus. Okay, Taurus, let me see where you're at. Okay, Taurus. Okay. Okay, this is a little more positive potentially. It's more interesting. You're in a learning phase. You're not in an active phase. You're in a learning phase, Taurus. But it's likely to lead you somewhere a bit better. Now, what I'm feeling for you is predominantly in the relationship area, although it might be affecting you elsewhere. But at the moment, you don't have the energy for that contact with that person you're interested in or that person you're with potentially. And so there's a break, and it's not a break up, but it's a break. It's space for yourself, space to regroup, space for them to regroup as well, actually. And that needs to be driven by mutual love, mutual respect. So your first card is the Hermit. And with the Hermit, I feel you need this space to evaluate yourself and what you're doing in order that you don't just get caught on autopilot, because it's not going to help you to do so. Underpinning this is the Knight of Cups. So this isn't a decision. This isn't something that you're doing because you don't like this person. On the contrary, it's being done because you do. You really care about them. You're really passionate about them. And that's why you need this space away, because this hopefully is strong enough to deal with that. It's strong enough to deal with that. It's secure enough to deal with that. With the Hierophant, there is this wisdom that you've learned that says that yes, you can step away from this without it falling apart. And that's the challenge, actually. It's how you find out about what this is, where it goes to, is allowing yourself to step away and feel what it feels like to not be in that close contact at this moment in time. I don't feel like that means you don't communicate for a week or whatever, but there's definitely like a loosening. It's a loosening going on. It's a loosening going on that is then going to test how strong this love is. If there is more than just a Knight of Cups, which may not be that enduring, but if this can actually rejuvenate things and make them stronger with the Ace of Cups. So the challenge there is to be able to love without being in ultra close contact. It's giving yourself the space to regroup and to heal a bit. And that comes from a place of wisdom, because if you're not wise with this, you cling. You're like, no, I can't have a moment apart. But if you are wiser, then you can allow that love to get stronger with the Ace of Cups. You can really feel into it. And that moves you to a stronger place. It also moves both of you involved in this to a place of stronger boundaries as well, and more independence within this contact. And if this is a relationship or a potential relationship, it means there's more independence within it. It means that you're not just developing into dependence or codependence. And I'm not saying that all of you are. I'm saying that's a risk if this loosening doesn't occur. If you're not as confident as you need to be in yourself with the Hermit, if you don't know yourself well enough as the Hermit, then that's a risk. But by taking just this step back, then things just can become a bit looser. The love can actually be deeper with the Ace of Cups. But with the Four of Cups, then you're actually stronger in terms of your own boundaries. You're more independent of each other. And therefore, the time that you spend together is more meaningful. It's given by choice. It's given out of love and not out of any kind of insecurity or routine or dependence. So there is that need at this time just for that bit of space, and also allows you to heal within that as well. Allows you to heal anything that is causing any tendency towards codependence or clinginess or anything like it. And it can make things much, much stronger with the Ace of Cups, because that's how you learn to love, regardless of being in constant contact or not. And I hope that helps and makes sense to you at this time, Taurus. Coming up next is going to be Gemini. And yet that also gives space for self-love, I should say that. Obviously space there to build self-love is vital if you're going to approach this healthily. So next up is going to be Gemini. Gemini Sun, Moon and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. And if you're watching, please say hi in the chat. Please like the video. Please share the video. All of that helps. Gemini. Okay, Gemini. Okay, Gemini. Okay. difficult one for you, Gemini. This is also a relationship themed one, and you're hurting a bit, Gemini. You're hurting a bit. And I feel that within that, you're kind of protecting yourself at the moment. There's a sense in which something is starting to hurt, not feel great, not feel right for you, and you are pulling back because you're scared this is going to get worse if you continue with what you're doing, with where you're at within this. And it's difficult because you don't necessarily see a way forward. So your first card is the Guardian, an extra card in this deck. So with the Guardian, there is this impetus on you to hold back a bit, to protect yourself. Underpinning this is the Ten of Pentacles. So this is something that you felt very secure in, or maybe other areas of your life were quite secure. And now you have this sense that this might just start to come away or come apart a bit. So that is that's sort of your Ten of Swords, is you're dealing with the very real fear of suddenly things starting to give way a bit. And because you feel things might start to give way a bit, you're coming back and you're closing off. And it's like you're drawing the curtains. You don't want to let the light in. You don't want to let the light in case the light burns. And so you're protecting yourself, but you might also not be totally dealing with what's out there. And you may not be able to see everything that's out there. So you have the Ace of Swords coming up, and you also have the Two of Swords coming up. And I feel that you're trying to make a decision about what you do with this. Do you continue it? Do you take the risk with it? Do you close off to it? Do you do something else? And the problem is you're making that decision. You're trying to make that decision on the mental level, but you don't necessarily have the information to make it on the mental level. And there's a need to feel your way through this a bit more, Gemini, because on the mental level, it's almost like you're catastrophizing, fearing the worst. It's really, really painful. And so you might leave it behind then. You might leave it behind in case the light's better elsewhere, or you might stick with it if the light seems good, but you're looking for the light, and I don't feel you're going to get the light just yet. And because you're not going to get the light just yet on that level, on the level of mental illumination, you can't rely on that to guide you through this at this time, because you're in a Two of Swords situation. And with the Two of Swords, therefore, you need to get more into your feelings, and you need to get more into understanding that this may not be that bad, but it's reflecting something. It's reflecting something. I feel it's reflecting an insecurity within you. And a lot of us are dealing with insecurities right now. It's not just you, but that's what's being reflected within you. And I feel that by getting into your feelings, you'll have a clearer idea of what you do about this, whether it has potential, whether it doesn't, whether you need to hold yourself back, close yourself off, protect yourself, or whether you can just allow things to be. I feel that the light will break through for you, but I feel the light will break through for you based on allowing yourself to feel and to be in that space, not by endlessly thinking about it, ruminating on it, or anything like it. I feel that's a trap for you at this time. Your final card is the Four of Cups. So this then becomes, as things move on, as you get a clearer sense through your feelings and just allowing this to become what it needs to develop in the way that it needs to, then you get a clearer perspective, a clearer image, a clearer idea, and then you can decide whether to go with this or not. But that will then come from a place where you are in touch with yourself and understanding of the situation, rather than dealing with a mental pattern or a projection which might cause you difficulties if that's what you rely on. Important to that as well is the integrity of the rest of your life. The rest of your life does not depend on whether or not this develops or continues in any way. The rest of your life is very, very solid with the Ten of Pentacles, and you can trust it. You can trust it, and therefore you don't need to build your whole life around this person. And I feel that when you might be trying to do that, that can be causing you those difficulties. I feel that a decision will be made on your part or on their part in the not too distant future, but you're not there yet. And I feel that by surrendering a bit of control and getting more into awareness and presence with your feelings, you're going to be able to deal with this. I hope that makes sense to you, Gemini. Hi, Stacey. We are. Okay, that was Gemini. Next up is going to be Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Cancer. 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 Okay, Cancer, let me see where you're up to at this time. Cancer. Okay, Cancer. Not so bad for you so far. I mean, I feel that there's hurt at the moment for you, but I feel that that's not what you're focusing on. I feel like you're working past that. So yes, the 5 of Cups is in your situation position. So there's been hurt, there's been disappointment, but you are staying calm within it. I don't feel that's getting on top of you at this time. I'm seeing you communicating a lot, talking people through things. I feel like you're outlining some kind of project or plan or idea to people, and they're quite receptive, and it's new, but it has a lot of potential within it. Your first card is the Ace of Wands. And along with the Ace of Wands, we have the 2 of Wands. So you have this idea of how things can move forward. So you're not staying in the hurt at all. You have this idea, and while you're not going hell for leather, you're talking everyone through it very, very calmly. You're making a really good case. And I feel that you're winning people over, and that you want to win people over with the 2 of Wands. So that isn't a bad place to be at this time. That can have real potential. However, there is a bit of hurt, and while it's not affecting you, you still need to feel it with the 5 of Cups. You need to feel it. Now, I feel that you're outlining this idea, this project, and it's part of something bigger. It's part of something that illuminates parts of you that you haven't explored before. I also feel that it's part of something bigger, the start of something bigger, the start of something that allows you to understand a certain degree of potential in a certain area of your life. And I'm just going to feel on a bit more, because I want to get an idea of exactly what they're pointing me to there. Yeah, I feel like people haven't always listened to you, taken you seriously, and therefore they are listening to you now around this particular thing. And that's surprising you. It's surprising you because you're not used to it. But actually you have this one, you understand this one, you're quite forthright in this area, and you're pushing forward as much as you can with the 6 of Swords. You're helping other people to understand stuff about what they're dealing with in their lives as well. And it's like you're chiming bells with them. It's like they're nodding, they're hearing you. What you're saying is making sense to them. It fits their own experience. And so you're all sort of gaining this level of insight, and this is really, really positive and with potential. And what this is going to allow you and them to do is break restrictions. And I feel the restrictions for you is this old sense that no one takes you seriously, no one will listen to you, nobody will understand your ideas, because at this moment in time they are understanding your ideas and it's opening things up. So you're going to move past both the Five of Cups, which I feel is that hurt where people haven't listened to you before. I feel they are now. That's going to continue, and it's got real potential, Cancer. And that starts to break your restrictions, your beliefs about what you can and can't do, the things that have held you back before, the ideas that nobody really allows me to lead or encourage or take that leading role. I feel that you're going to start to do that with what you're engaged in at this time, Cancer. So you're bucking the trend a bit, and that's no bad thing. Like, yeah, you still need to pay witness to your feelings, and I feel you're doing that. But as well as that, you're setting this new agenda out, and it's going to help you help other people, and it's going to allow you to feel less restricted in future. So you're breaking out of that Ten of Swords, Cancer. This is hugely encouraging to you, and I feel that therefore that full position in the conscious mind is really helping you, because it's allowing you to disregard where people haven't listened in the past. So you're in that great position to really go about that this week, Cancer. I hope that makes sense to you. And next up is going to be Leo. Leo's sun, moon, and rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Anika, if you'd like a live personal reading, obviously I'll pull a few cards at the end, but if you'd like a full personal reading, my details are in the box below. I'm very happy for you to book me, and the same for anyone else watching. And I'll pull a few cards at the end, but if you want a full personal reading, the easiest way is to book me. Leo's sun, moon, and rising. Thank you, Super Angry Koala. For the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Teresa, I would say at this moment in time, just keep at it and just make sure that it's something fresh, something new, essentially. I feel these are old blockages that you're breaking through with, if you're a Cancer at this moment in time. Leo. Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Okay. Difficult for you, Leo. You're trying so hard to push forward, to express. There's stuff you really want to work on, but you're not able to at the moment. So yeah, the Ace of Wands is driving you, but it's not the time that you can really go at stuff, go after stuff at this time. I don't feel like everyone is listening to you at this time. I feel that you're not feeling that confident. You've been pushed back. That's causing you a lot of mental anguish, maybe some heartache. And you basically need some rest from what you've been trying to do. It's not going to work at the moment. Your first card is the Three of Swords, underpinned by the Ace of Wands. So this is painful for you. It's painful for you and you need a rest. And maybe you need somebody to support you as well. You can reach out for support without just having to keep exerting yourself, trying to express yourself, push yourself forward. Be receptive to other people's support at this time instead, Leo. That is going to help you an awful lot. I feel the more you push yourself, the more caught up you're going to feel. But the more you pull back, the freer you're going to feel, and it will allow you to move more in the future. Because right now I feel you're just going to hit walls and it's going to get painful. Other people will support you though. With justice coming up, there's a need to be lighter in your approach. That's why you can't be forceful. It's a time for a bit of rest. It's a time where you reflect, where you sit back, where you listen a bit, rather than trying to go hell for leather. And that's difficult for Leo, but it's also necessary because otherwise you're going to get drained. You're going to get drained and it's going to be no fun. And I feel that the more you try and push yourself, assert yourself on people or situations, the more you're going to be met with disinterest because it's not the right time for it with the Four of Cups. And that will just like accentuate the Three of Swords. But if you can just pull back a bit into yourself and work on other things, you'll be in a stronger place. So rather than pushing forward, asserting your ideas, I feel that you can pull back a bit. You can pull back a bit and be the one listening, the one taking on board other people's ideas, the one offering support to other people whilst also accepting support where you need it as well. But it's that kind of phase for you. It's not super active, or at least not in the way of really making big advances in terms of material projects or creative projects or anything else. It's more restful. It's more restful with justice. It allows you then not to get too hurt when people are too busy with other things to just do what you're telling them or whatever else, or to cheer you on. I feel there's support if you need it, there's emotional support if you need it. But I feel that more than anything, this is about what this period of pulling back and not acting starts to show you, starts to illuminate for you. Because your final card is the Six of Swords. I feel you'll gain a deeper understanding into things. And that can include how you feel about the things you're working on and the people you're around. How you feel about yourself, and maybe some unhealed wounds or old belief systems again. These seem to be the theme at this time. But you'll get to those only by allowing yourself to be in a space at this time where you are not forcing your way forward, charging your way forward, however much you're driven to with the Ace of Wands. It's going to yield some insight for you. It's going to allow you to understand yourself and your situation and what you do next a lot better. But you can't get there by forcing the issue, Leo. That's very important. I hope that makes sense to you. The next sign is going to be Virgo. Virgo Sun, Moon and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. For most people, it's a restful phase, or at least just it's not an all-out action phase. And that's like, stay open, but don't force the issue. Is kind of what it's like for most people. And I feel that like in this weird roundabout way where people don't normally force the issue, they might be doing that a bit more. And that's what came up with Cancer. You know, everything's just a little bit topsy-turvy at this stage. Just remember to feel your way through it. Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising. First couple of cards for Virgo have flipped up. Okay, Virgo. Okay, Virgo. From a sign more used to going it alone, obviously. Hi, Dee. Okay. This is encouraging for you if you can get past the immediacy, Virgo. If you can get past the immediacy, if you can get past inner conflict, things holding you back. You see, you're quite used to going it alone, Virgo. You're quite used to going it alone, and therefore it's not as severe for you. So I feel that the spaces where you feel unsupported are not as big for you, but I feel that you're getting an idea of where you head to next, and it feels quite far off, quite distant, but the idea is right there. You're being driven by the Knight of Swords. So the idea is right there. You're getting fast thinking going on, and it's then not about think your way through it, but accept the fast thought that came in. Don't then try and analyze it and work it out. Accept it for what it is, even if it conflicts with what you thought you'd be doing, where you thought you'd be going. You have the Eight of Cups coming up as well. So I feel like you're heading towards something. I don't feel necessarily it's a leaving behind of things or people. I feel it's more being guided towards something. So you're getting a fast insight. You're like, oh, that's on the horizon. I'll move towards that. So maybe you're getting a little preview of your Wheel of Fortune at this time, Virgo. That's not a bad thing. Now you're in a space of the Five of Swords at the middle of this. And with the Five of Swords, therefore, you're conflicted because you're like, I have these commitments to this situation, these people, what I'm already doing, my traditional view, my old view. You might be a little inflexible in that situation. You don't need to be, Virgo. You can be quite flexible and head towards where you're guided. And I feel that you're being guided towards this through this insight that's coming in, which doesn't need to be analyzed. It needs to be accepted and then worked on over time. I don't feel that you have to be super active. I feel you have to be aware of the light that you're heading towards. You're getting this glimpse of light coming through. You're going to head towards that over time. So I feel there's only really a deep conflict if you're like, I have to tear up the rule book and do all of that now. It's no, you'll edge towards it, Virgo. You'll edge towards it. With the Page of Pentacles, I feel like you're just getting this idea of something beautiful in your future and it being in your hands to make your way there, towards that sun. So that can be really, really exciting. It can be really, really exciting, really, really fulfilling. But the fact that you know that you're working towards that means you can settle into things a lot more now. You don't have to be super active. Be like, okay, I've got the idea. I'm starting to move towards that. The universe is going to help me towards that. The universe will help you towards what's coming through, Virgo. It's in alignment. You don't have to worry too much about that. This takes you towards the Nine of Cups. So you are moving towards this place where you can trust what you're moving towards. And because you can trust what you're moving towards, you don't have to force it. Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups. You're setting the intention to go in this direction. You don't have to force it. What you can do is be open to this being wonderful for you as it develops, as it fulfills you, as it enriches your life. And therefore, it's not a conflict. It's something else that is going to blend in, that you're going to move towards over time, that is going to feel lighter, feel fresher, feel better for you. And you're going to be in a better place as a result of it. So you have it in your mind and you move towards it. But you don't have to be forced here. It's going to help you. It's going to benefit you. But part of that is also then going to be allowing the universe to come in and help you in that direction. All you have to do is accept it, and that will happen. Allow yourself to treat this as a learning experience and a growth experience, Virgo. rather than like something that has to be done and put into place tomorrow. It's more gradual than that. It's smoother than that. And taking that approach will help you a lot. I hope that makes sense to you. We're halfway through the signs. Hi to everyone just arriving. If you're here, please like the video. Please share the video. Next up is going to be Libra. Libra Sun, Moon and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Libra. Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. Let's have a look for you. Okay, Libra. Okay, Libra. You're trying to decide on something. You're trying to decide if you want to continue with what you'd invested in, with what you'd started, or if you should just be giving it up, going elsewhere. And for some of you, this is a relationship situation, but for all of you, it's something heartfelt at the very least. The sense that I'm getting is something heartfelt that you then built a vision around, built an idea around, started doing things towards. And you're getting a little sense now where you feel like you might be going around in circles a bit, or not be taken seriously, or not getting anywhere. And now you're wondering, do I keep this going or do I let it go? You have the Knight of Pentacles coming up. So you had the idea, you started to put in the work, you've been doing the work for a while. You're not sure if you're seeing progress or not sure if you're getting the feedback you want. And if you are getting the feedback, you're not sure if it's the feedback that you truly desired. And that means that death is also coming up. And I feel this is this sense of going round in circles and wondering whether you keep going with this or not. So you're trying to make a decision, Libra. You're trying to make a decision, but I don't feel you can make a decision just yet. And with the Page of Wands, it's kind of like you have this information coming in. You have this information coming in, but you don't know what to make of it yet. It doesn't feel fully formed. You don't feel able to fully understand it. And you might not be fully able to understand it yet. You might need to give it a bit longer, Libra. Stay in this situation, in this place. You might be dealing with a younger fire sign energy here. That could be Aries, that could be Leo, it could be Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And you need to keep it a bit lighter than this. I feel you're very serious about this at the moment. So serious, because you're trying to decide whether it's worth it or not. And you're getting quite bogged down as a result. So you need to be lighter. You need to be a bit lighter, like the Page of Wands is, rather than this more serious Knight of Pentacles who needs the vision, the idea, needs to make sure he's moving towards it, is going to get there. All of that. I don't feel that's right for you. You need to be lighter than that. You need to be lighter than that and allow the insight to come in over time. You're another sign with the Six of Swords showing up. The Six of Swords, which to me absolutely shouts Mercury retrograde, because it's about insight that comes over time. It's about taking a journey to that insight. And Libra, I feel that you're wanting to rush to that insight, to that decision, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet, but it will be if you allow this to develop over time. Stay with the process, take things in. But don't feel that it has to be do or die at this stage with death. I don't feel it is. I feel that you're being so serious about this, and you need to be more light-hearted and freer within it and just allow things to flow. Allow things to flow and allow yourself to do other things and focus on other things with the Six of Swords as well, rather than being so intent with the Knight of Pentacles, you know, because that moves you to a better place and a stronger place. It moves you to a place of judgment, which means that I feel you will get your answer. You'll get the knowledge of whether or not this is going where you want it to, or somewhere at least that is beneficial for you, but it's not there yet. But like all the signs, it requires a bit of surrender, a bit of rest with the Four of Swords, a bit of surrender with the Ten of Swords, because in your mental space it's painful, and elsewhere it's not necessarily. Being in that space of the Fool is where we all need to be. And you're not a fool just to feel into this, but you can be lighter within it and allowing that wheel to come in. And for you, then that gets accompanied by judgment. Something may move on to the next level. It may become something, or it may be something that you leave behind, but you're not there yet. And you need time to build the insight and the understanding to get there, Libra. And that may be really frustrating for you, but that is the nature of the energy that we're under at this time, and you can't force it. I hope that makes sense to you. Coming up next is going to be Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Scorpio. Scorpio. Thank you, Stacey. As I keep saying, Mercury retrogrades are not something to be scared of, but you have to work with them in a particular way. And that's such a feeling that I'm getting draped over my readings at the moment with all these Six of Swords showing up. It's all about knowing how to work it, that you're here in this phase. Unless you have Mercury retrograde in your birth chart, which some of you may do, for the rest of us, it's all about listening, paying attention, reflecting, not rushing to judgment. Sometimes someone bucks the trend in a certain situation, but that's the general energy, and it's no surprise that's being reflected generally. Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. Okay. This is complicated. I'm feeling this in two very different places. So up here in the mental space, it's all a bit messy, distressing, maybe depressing. In your heart space, it's a bit freer. You're more able to deal. But up here, it's not good. So how do we get you out of here? How do we get you out of here? Because up here, it's a battle. With the Four of Cups in the conscious mind and the Strength in the unconscious mind, it's a real battle. You know, I feel that you're not feeling it. You're not feeling how you are with other people. You're feeling tired. It's all just a bit, and you don't really want that. And then you're kind of then battling to stay focused, to stay on course. But down here, Down here, there's more of a process going on, more movement going on, more ability actually to be able to act a bit as well. And I feel that you have death coming up. So with death coming up, there is something that has to be let go of. And I don't feel that it's not something in the material that has to be let go of. I feel these really are belief patterns, ways of thinking, ways of acting, ways of doing, old programming that you felt you got rid of potentially, or that you hadn't paid too much attention to, and now bang, right there it is, taking all this space up. And it's such a battle to deal with it with strength. So that is something that you need to be aware of. It's something that's being released. It's finding its way out, and you can't be attaching to it when it's trying to find its way out, because when you attach to it, you inflict it back upon yourself and maybe upon your world, and you need to be freer. You need to be freer with the Fool. And then you're in a place where you're able to harness things a lot more. You can't do it from up here so much. You can't do it from up here so much, but you can do it far, far more back from your heart space. You have the Magician coming up, so there is space to do something new. And I feel it's about focusing on something new. I feel the Magician here is pointing you towards new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things, new ways of being. That you need to allow yourself to evolve and develop into this new person who does things in this new way. And that's where you're being guided towards. The Magician does correspond to Mercury as well. So you need to work with the Mercury energies at this time in this particular way. You need to start developing new things and new ways of doing things. And when you do that, I feel that those will develop quite quickly. But they only develop quickly if they're new, if they're heartfelt, and if they're not overthought or just old things that you're going round over. Where they're new with the Eight of Wands, they move very, very quickly. It has to come from here. Up here, it's a right old mess. And it's a right old mess because you don't need to be here right now, essentially. It'll just become more of a mess if you stay there. Down here, it's a bit better. It's a bit freer. It gives you the space to exert and to move a bit. What stands in your way is old programming, old ways of doing things, old ways of thinking. As you step away from them, you're going to become a lot freer, Scorpio. Excuse me. And that is going to help you. It's not ideal, obviously. It's certainly not ideal. But you can deal with your feelings, Scorpio. It's more natural terrain for you than the mental space is, to be honest. You don't need to be so analytical at this time. But you're going to be able to start to set the agenda. But it requires you to find the strength to get out of there and back to there. So you can move, so you can breathe, so you can act, so you can influence. So as you're not held back. I hope that makes sense to you. Coming up next is going to be Sagittarius. You'll all get through it. Don't worry about that. This is like, it's 3 weeks of your life. It's just 3 weeks of acting, approaching a bit differently. But we go through these 3 times a year. Yes, this one's a bit bigger, but it's not something you haven't seen before. It's just a slightly more intense version of it. Remember, everyone, you can reach out to each other. Be kind to each other at this time. Just don't spend too long in your head if you can help it. Be a witness to those thoughts that are coming up, those feelings that are coming up. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Sag. Okay, Sag. Okay. Well, the patterns that are showing up at this time are getting the same cards again and again. You're very driven to act, Sagittarius. You're very driven to act, and you don't want anyone to stand in your way. You're trying to go fast. You're trying to go fast. You want to maintain what you've built. You want to add to it. You want it to be big. You want it to be wonderful. You want to go really, really fast. And I feel that you're perceiving other people as blockages to this. They don't understand. They don't fully support you. You maybe you haven't taken the time to explain your case, but you feel like it's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your time. You go alone. You do it a lot better. So with the Four of Cups, you don't really care what anyone else thinks. You're just going to go at this. Don't matter. Don't matter. Don't matter. Don't matter. Ten of Pentacles. You have something good in place. You want to build on it. You want it to get bigger. You want it to get bigger fast. And you want to be free to act, free to move. And for some of you, this might be causing a difficulty with a partner. It really might. Not going to lie. Even if they're not the person you're disregarding directly, although it might be, I feel that they're seeing the way you are towards other people, and they're sort of like, oh, hang on a minute. Hold on a minute. Why are they doing that? I feel that you feel like you're acting out of self-love, and you might be, but you need to have that love stretched a bit wider than that. And you might need to be a bit more patient. You see, Ten of Pentacles is a wonderful thing to aim for, but it doesn't have to come about immediately. And I feel that what you've already put in place is quite strong and solid, so you might not have to go quite so fast. Quite in such a way that you kind of potentially hurt other people as well, but it's not simple. You have the Ace of Cups at the heart of things, so somebody is potentially getting hurt. Maybe you're not acting that lovingly towards people. This could be an earth sign, with the King of Pentacles showing up as your challenge here. Could be therefore Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I feel that you want to be as successful as they are, and maybe you're not at this time, or maybe you don't perceive yourself rather as being as successful as they are, because they have all the material stuff in place. They have the home, they have the business, they have the family, and you're sort of like, I'm working towards that. I don't have that yet, and therefore I need to match up to them. And that you don't necessarily want to take their thoughts and their ideas on board, though. You're so determined, so single-minded. Your final card is Death. So with Death coming up, I feel that you can't just go on this way, Sagittarius. You need to pull back a little bit, and that doesn't mean other people telling you what to do. But, I mean, do you have to be so aggressive in this? Do you have to be so single-minded? Do you have to be in this place where other people's opinions and feelings don't matter? When you've already got so much in place? Like, you want to get where you're going, sure. But you can do so in a beautiful way, where these are happy emotions, or you can do so in a sad way where these become tears, and maybe unnecessary tears. So just be a little careful and understand what's motivating you. If you're being motivated by the big prize, that's great. If you're being motivated by having to prove yourself because you're hurt, That's not so good. You don't have to prove yourself, Sagittarius. You don't have to measure yourself up to the other people around you either. You absolutely don't. And I feel that that is the thing that needs to be let go of more than anything else with death. If you can let go of this need to prove yourself to other people, to measure up, seeing other people as your competition, then you're going to be able to deal with this much, much better. And while I feel you kind of get there either way, wouldn't you rather get there in a place where you have more love around you, where there hasn't been this huge strain on you emotionally? I feel that is the choice that you're making. So you can slow it down a bit. You can keep your goals, but you can take other people into account as well, and it will help you a lot. And you may find that other people do help you in those circumstances. And then you might just be a bit stronger, rather than your relationships being harmed in the way they don't need to be with death. I hope that makes sense to you. Coming up next is going to be Capricorn. These are really complicated pictures at the moment, so I hope they're resonating with you. Like, that's kind of the nature of the energy. I think things are not quite as they seem, and it's not just a straightforward direction. Do this, don't do that. It's more how we go about things at this time. That seems to be like the main thing. Make sure that what's motivating you is genuinely love and not hurt. Because where it's hurt, there's stuff that you have to feel then and release, work through and release. Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Hi, Queen Potato. Okay, Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Okay. This is about your approach to people at this time, Capricorn. It's about how you deal with people, especially those who it feels like you care about. I feel like you're quite emotional at the moment, Capricorn, and you might be emotional in how you're approaching people, emotional in how you're connecting to people, and that's coming from a place of fear. So you sort of feel like if you give it to them just sort of how it is, they might just come back at you or push you away or something similar. However, that might not be the case. You may not have to quite turn on this show of emotion to get people to listen to you. You can be more balanced than that. You see, you have temperance showing up, but I feel temperance here is quite emotional. I feel that that water might be spilling on the ground a bit. That might be tears that are flowing outwards. And that's because you don't quite trust people to come on board with you and listen to what you're saying. And so you're quite emotionally driven as a result, quite emotional in your communication and your expression, and not in a healthy way. I don't feel like you're being deliberately manipulative or anything, but I feel like you're quite torn up inside, and it's driving that. And because it's driving that, you're like, oh, I'm not going to be heard unless I talk this way, unless I show how much this affects me. I also don't feel it's necessarily going to get you anywhere. And I feel that it's coming from a place of distrust in those people, and maybe a distrust in yourself, your ability to connect, to relate. I feel this does affect relationships, maybe romantic relationships, maybe family or friends, but it's those kind of things. It's the heart space that's being affected. You have the Five of Swords showing up for you, Capricorn. And with the Five of Swords, there is this distrust. There's this distrust, this idea that you need to tug on people's heartstrings to get them to come along with you. But it isn't necessarily going to work that way. I don't feel you should hide from your emotions or your feelings. But I don't feel you can use your emotions and your feelings to drag other people into action either. I feel that is, you're in this kind of sword space like a lot of people are, and that's driving you a bit too much. With the Four of Cups, it's leading to this space where you feel people are not going to listen to you unless you go this way, but you don't need to. You have the Page of Cups showing up, and the Page of Cups for me is such a beautiful and light energy, and is an emotional energy, but sees the beauty in people, trusts her situation, moves into that situation with an open mind and an open heart, and is ready to accept people where they're at. So I don't feel you need to close your heart off in any way. I do feel that you need to ensure that you're being emotionally honest and not using your emotions in a way that might be destructive with the Five of Swords. Trust the people who you're connected to, the people who you're around, and give them a chance to come to you, because I feel that you're being motivated by fear, by anxiety at the moment. And that fear and anxiety won't be dispelled or driven away by you going in this anxious place, in this very, very emotional place that is not emotionally open, is actually just projecting your emotions out onto other people or expressing them in such a way that is not very controlled. The Page of Cups is a bit more measured. She's very, very light, very, very dreamy, but she's also quite grounded. And I feel that if you go about things that way, then you'll be in a better place. It means you have to relinquish a bit of control. It means you have to face the fear that other people won't listen unless you are like this, but you don't need to be like this. That takes you into a Nine of Swords situation. But with the Nine of Swords here, I feel it's very much that by being open, by seeing the best in people, by trusting them to listen without you having to cry your heart out at them, doesn't mean you shouldn't feel, but it's about what you do with it. Then I feel that actually you'll find that those fears are not quite as rooted in reality as you feel they are. And then you can be a bit more balanced with Temperance as well, and you'll be in better shape. I feel that if you perceive this as a battle that you have to win, and you have to win it through emotions, then you're going to have problems. But if you perceive this as other people being around you who will be receptive to you, who are dealing with their own stuff, but you can still see the beauty in them and in yourself, and the ability to approach this in that way, you'll be doing a lot better, Capricorn. And I feel that is what you have to work on this week. I hope that makes sense to you. Hi, Theolo. Coming up next is going to be Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. You've had a success, Aquarius. You've finished something. You've completed it. There should be this wave of joy washing over you at this time. You've done really, really well with that, and you need to be celebrating. Feeling good about yourself, sharing that with other people as well, building up your own confidence, building up other people's confidence. Seeing that as the start of something more, but not feeling like you have to go out and do loads more. You can celebrate at this time. You can be happy. You can be in company at this time, Aquarius. With the Page of Wands, you've finished that. You've been bold. You can see your efforts. And you can share that. You can share the good news with people. Share your success with people. The Three of Cups is underpinning things. So there are people around you who want to share in your success, want to celebrate you, want to communicate with you, want to touch in with you. That's really great. That's really great. And everyone else probably needs you to share it at this time, because so many people are down in the dumps. You don't have to be Aquarius. Isn't that wonderful? You have that to share with people. You have that to share with people. So what's stopping you? Page of Pentacles is showing up. So you're sort of feeling like, oh, I'm pleased with myself, but maybe it's not that good. Maybe they won't be that impressed. No, but bullshit. Go and share it. Go and share it. It is impressive. It's really impressive. Look how impressive it is. Look at the amazing job you've done. Look what you created, Aquarius. Look what you completed. Look what you did. Go and celebrate it. Go and celebrate it. Feel exuberant. Feel bold. It's fantastic, Aquarius. Strength is showing up for you. And I feel that the main strength for you here is allowing yourself to be happy and to share that with other people. That's your area. Not to beat yourself up and go, I have to do the next thing now. I need to be a world beater. I have to go and do all these things now. You'll get there. But you don't have to do it all just yet. You can celebrate what you've completed, what you've done. Share it with other people. And that will help them as well, you know. You have Death showing up as your final card as well, Aquarius. So I feel that where you're moving to through this is the idea that you have to be constantly in motion, coming up with the next big thing, coming up with the next big thing. Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's ever good enough. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. You can slow down a bit here. But the other thing is accepting what you have completed. You completed this project. It's done. Please stop looking to go back to it and improve on it. This comes up so much for you, Aquarius, but it's a thing. You did it. It's the start of something new, but that phase is complete. Share that with people. Share the completion with people. Share your success with people. You don't have to be sucked back down into it, Aquarius. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. That phase is completed. The sun goes down on it. The next one will rise. That's not a problem for you. But it's done. Go and celebrate. Go and celebrate and share that love with other people, Aquarius. I hope that makes sense to you. Coming up next is the final sign, which is Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 10th to the 16th of March 2019. Pisces, the sun is still transiting your sign. Let me see where you're at. You know, the message just there for Aries is to honor yourself, honor your commitments, but honor what you've completed and honor yourself enough to celebrate yourself. Quit beating yourself up or pushing yourself even harder. But Pisces, Oh, wow, Pisces, okay. Pisces, you're allowed to enjoy yourself, you know. I feel there's some really good stuff that's happening in your life, or that's happened in your life, or that you've completed, or maybe it's just that it's your birthday this week. But it's like you won't allow yourself to settle and enjoy yourself and celebrate that stuff. You're like pushing it. Oh no, I have to go and do this. I have to go and do this. I need to do this thing for this person, this thing for this person. I have to push myself this hard, or we won't get there. It doesn't have to be like that, Pisces. Honestly, my heart is just like it's opening to you at this time. I feel like you're like desperate to pump your legs, go after something more, something more, something more. With the dragon tamer showing up, you're not allowing yourself to just be. You want this extra level of control, but you're not allowing yourself to celebrate. You're like, I can't allow myself to do that. I won't get to do the things that I need to, but you will. This doesn't have to be a mega active time. Why not enjoy yourself whilst you can? There are people who want to enjoy you with yourself, want to enjoy themselves with you as well. The Six of Pentacles, you're like, oh, but I have this responsibility to do all of this stuff. I have to keep putting into this, putting into this, putting into this. But actually, what's the other side of it? Other people will come and meet you and join with you and be comfortable with you. You don't owe it to the world to deny yourself a good time, Pisces. Not in any way, shape, or form. You've completed a lot. You have a lot in place with the Ten of Pentacles. Can you enjoy that? Can you enjoy yourself? Can you enjoy being around other people? Can you enjoy sharing in that environment? Feeling secure in that environment? Because you are secure in that environment. You're secure in that environment. And what's more, you can be discerning. You don't have to keep rushing after things, doing more. You can now choose. You're in a strong place and you can choose where you expend your energy. And that also includes choosing to be kind to yourself and enjoy yourself and celebrate yourself. With the King of Swords, it's all about being able to choose. That's the main thing for you. And I feel that you're just so driven to go and do more and more that you're not allowing yourself to, but you can. You can. There isn't that rush. Not in any way, shape, or form. This is about celebrating yourself. It's about supporting yourself with the things that you've done. Chilling out a little bit as well, allowing yourself to just relax a bit and trusting your situation, trusting that what you've put into place now is solid and stable and will last the test of time. It will be secure. With the Emperor coming up, you are in this new place of strength and power. You have the King of Swords and the Emperor in your challenge and outcome position. Just be focused and resolute and allow yourself the things that you need to. You don't have to push yourself so hard. It's all very, very solid. And then you can be more controlled with your energy and only exert it and apply it where it needs to be. And that's going to help you going forward, Pisces. So you've done so much. You've achieved so much. You're allowed to take it a bit easier and enjoy yourself a bit more at this time. And it will really, really help you. I hope that makes sense to you. That is all 12 signs. Thank you all for listening to all 12 signs. Hi, Kimchi. I'm very happy to take a couple of questions. If anyone would like to pop them in the live chat, I'll see who I can come to. Obviously, if I've helped you, please feel free to book a live reading with me, a personal reading. All the details are in the box below, and we can look at any area of life or expand on what we've gone over in any of the readings today. And I can also help guide you through this Mercury retrograde and what's left of it. I can dedicate an entire personal reading to that for you if you'd like me to, and that will look at what exactly you personally are reflecting on, working through, releasing, and everything that goes with that. If my readings help you, please think about leaving me a tip or a donation. My PayPal details are also in the box below. Please follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please look up my Mercury retrograde in Pisces video and my overall outlook for Pisces season video, which are also in the box below. Okay, so I have one question coming in. It's from Teresa. Teresa is asking, I keep speaking the name of Eric. Please, could you explain who he might be to me? Okay, Teresa, let me have a look for you. Who might Eric be to Teresa? Let me see what comes through for you, Teresa. I'm going to feel into this as deeply as I can. Eric. 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 Okay. 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 There. Eric. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. It's very, very interesting. I feel like this is not somebody of massive importance in your life, but maybe somebody to watch out for a little bit. That's the sense that I get, is that he's somebody to watch out for a little bit. With the 5 of Swords coming up, you have this picture where if you encounter this person, things might get a little bit unpleasant. I feel that there's a past life relationship to this person. I feel this person might have been a brother in a past life, but I feel that in this life, Eric is not great news for you. And I also feel that Eric is not somebody you should be investing too much energy in. In the Not position is the World. So this isn't somebody who deserves all of your attention, all of your focus, all of your efforts. And it's somebody who may not act wonderfully towards you with the 5 of Swords. I've pulled some additional cards for guidance. With the Hierophant, I feel this may be someone who's quite controlling. Somebody who makes you feel like you're not enough with the 5 of Pentacles, and someone who puts a strain on you with the 10 of Wands. You need to be quite measured in your approach. Even if you feel that connection, which feels like a past life one, and I feel like Eric was a brother in a past life, I feel that at this time, this is someone who's not good news for you. So watch out for that. Obviously, I'm happy to look into that in more detail for you in a personal reading, but the main message I'm getting is just to be a little on your guard when you meet this person. I think that's the most important thing for you. Coming up next, let me see if there's anyone else who's dropped a question who I'm drawn to. Super Angry Koala. Work environment has been very stressful. Any guidance for this coming week? I have a meeting on Tuesday, hoping it will go well. Thank you, Zelda. Hi, Jaylee. So let me have a look for you, super angry koala. I hope that makes sense, Teresa. As I said, that's what they were giving me. They said brother really quickly, and I asked, and they said possibly past life brother, and then I looked at what actually came up, and it's somebody who may make you feel like you're not enough when you are. So be careful, basically. Super angry koala, work environment, meeting on Tuesday. Okay, super angry koala. Okay. Okay. You're not being listened to, or you don't feel like you're being listened to. That's upsetting you. Either that's stressing you out. It is. It's stressing you out. It's making you quite emotional. However, it needn't be quite so bad, and your emotions may help you, and certainly your intuition and your psychic states are likely to help you, and you have a need not to be overwhelmed by your emotions. I feel like you might try and bend yourself a bit too much to the people at work, and these might be your bosses or people you're working with, and it's not that sensible too. I feel that you need to allow yourself to feel, but not get too caught up in things. I feel you have ideas which are important. I feel you put your heart into your ideas. I feel that you need to allow what you're working on at work to develop over time. What it is the Ace of Cups. So it has an emotional impact on you. You feel very strongly about this. You want to be heard. You want to be listened to. And I feel that there are ways of being heard and being listened to, but part of that is being quite controlled and measured. But it's also not allowing other people to just call the shots. You can't just bend yourself to what you feel they want. This needs to be about you. It needs to be very much about you and come from you. What it's not is the Three of Wands. So I don't feel that this is about bending yourself to other people. I don't feel that you have to flatter other people too much. For you to deal with yourself, but not flatter other people too much. Your next step is the Queen of Cups. So you feel into your feelings, into your emotions. You go from the heart. You have empathy with the people you're working with, and you connect with them on that level. But it doesn't mean bending yourself to them. It doesn't mean adjusting yourself to them. It means being empathetic and communicating with them effectively in that way. Keep to your own ideas, to your project, to what you're trying to create with the Page of Pentacles, and that will help you. And I feel that you'll come out of this much, much stronger with the sun coming up. This will rejuvenate you. Because I feel that otherwise you might get quite defensive. You might allow other people to call the shots and stuff. And it's okay to be emotionally affected by this. But I feel that you have to be open to other people also struggling a bit at the moment. And I feel you have to be empathetic, therefore. Not expect things to shift magically quickly, but just stay open, stay receptive, pick up on what other people are going through. Don't bend yourself to them, but also don't force the issue. I feel the bending yourself to them is more you bend yourself to them, and then you go really hard in on that. You're like, I have to do all these things to prove myself to them. No, you don't. You just need to be receptive and open, and work on your projects in that way, and it's going to help you. I hope that makes sense to you. I feel like there's really in-depth stuff that you're talking through and bringing up in those meetings. But just remember the receptiveness, and that's all it is. Less of the I have to do all these things to prove myself to them, and more I'm just going to talk this out with them calmly. I'm just going to talk this out with them calmly, and it's going to work out much better that way. Okay. I have one more question come in. It's from Yoel Trinidad. Sorry, Yoel Trinidad. Let's get the words out. Hi Zelda, is there anything important I need to be aware of right now? Let me have a look for you. Is it Yoel? Maybe my Spanish pronunciations are not good. I apologize profusely. I think it's Joel. Anyway, what do you need to be aware of right now? Okay, let me have a look for you. Okay. I feel like they shouted mother at me before I even started pulling cards. I feel that your mother might be going through a difficult time at the moment, may need your support at this time. And I feel that that hasn't always been the best relationship necessarily, but she's in need of your support at this time. And I feel that this is a situation that you need to step up to, work with. There's something for you to learn from this situation, for you to grow through from this situation. And it's up to you to be able to help her, to offer her a bit of light, a bit of healing, and a bit of guidance, and maybe just a bit of love. You have the High Priestess, so I feel that you know there's work to do here already. Your intuition tells you there's work to do. Well, it's the Ten of Wands, so this needn't be a strain on you in that sense. It's an area of caring, an area of work. And it's something that you need to reach into. With the Star, I feel you're this source of help for her, this source of light for her at this time. That's going to help her a great deal. The Eight of Wands shows up as well. With the Eight of Wands, therefore, I feel you don't need to waste time thinking about this hanging around. Just go find out what she's dealing with and offer her some help and some support at this time. It's going to make a huge difference, and it leads you to a place of judgment. I feel that this improves your relationship. It really improves things. It also improves how you view yourself as well. It's a situation you're going to rise to. I do feel there's some caring involved, some love that you need to give, that you need to show, some openness that you need to show, and that's all really going to help things at this time. I hope that makes sense, Joel. And that is the questions that have come through so far. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Please remember to like the video. Please share the video. Please comment on the video when you get the chance. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and enable notifications. If you'd like to book a personal reading, all my details are in the box below. If my readings help you and my work helps you, please, if you're able to, leave me a tip or a donation. My PayPal details are also in the box below. Please follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and if you'd like to get in touch for any other reason, if I can help you, if you'd like to collaborate with me, if you'd like to book me for an event or anything else, please feel free to contact me. Thank you all again for being here. I'm going to wish you a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening, Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on where in the world you are. I'll see you all again really, really soon. Have a great night.